Well, hello there and welcome. This is Aurora with Supercharged Science and Supercharged Math, and today we are going to be diving into fractions number 6. Now, I did promise last time that if you got on a little early, I would have some, actually a math riddle for you to work on, so I do. So let me grab it for you right now. If you could just drop a little note for me in the chat letting me know the audio is working well, that would be fantastic. And all right, so here we go. Ready for the first riddle? Okay, so here we go. This is just something a little extra for today. We haven't officially started yet. All right, so you are the kids standing on this side of the road. You see you there by the fire hydrant? Okay, so you see a truck that's become stuck under an underpass because it was an inch too tall to go through. And there is a gas station and an auto service station, a place that fixes cars, a short distance down the road. Now, the driver of the truck is starting to walk towards the garage. He got out and he's all frustrated. He can't make it through the tunnel. And then suddenly an idea pops into your head. You tell the driver about your idea. 5 minutes later, he's through the underpass and he's on his way. Question, what did you tell him to do? You got him unstuck, no tools required. How did you do it? and he did go through the underpass. He didn't like back up, turn around, and take a different road. How did you get him through the underpass? What was your great idea? All right, so go ahead and think about that for a second. If you just joined us, welcome. I have a riddle to start off the class today. Sometimes we do games, sometimes we do puzzles, sometimes I demo things where things are on the website. And so this is today's challenge is you got a truck unstuck. And I want to know what are your great ideas for this. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I know. I love math puzzles and so forth. So yeah, as a kid, you would find me up a tree doing math cryptorhythms, which I'll introduce later at some point. Okay, so you guys ready for today's class? Oh, what do you think about this one? Do you want me to tell you the answer? Or you want to think about it? Okay, let's have you think about it and then remind me at the end of class and then I'll tell you what I would use as a great idea. And it might be different than yours. There may be more than one solution to this problem. Yeah, that happens in real life. Okay, you ready? All right, it is the top of the hour. We are ready to get going. Let's do our official start. Yes, yes, yes. So, dun, dun, dun. Hello everyone and welcome. This is Aurora from Supercharged Math, and today we're going to dive into session number 6 in fractions. So for the next this week and for next week, we're going to be looking at improper fractions and mixed numbers. And so if I did put together a handout for you, it looks like this. It's a couple of pages long. If you have it, great. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. You can use this after class if you want. I know a number of students watch me live. Don't take any notes, just shout out the answers, and then they'll rewatch this as a recording, and then they will be taking notes at that time. All right, so let's see. Let me just make sure I have everything going that should be going. Give me just a quick second. All right, it looks like good audio. Looks good. We had a number of people who got it, who got the same answer I did about the truck. Yay! All right, I'm not going to tell you yet, but do remind me at the end of class so I don't forget. Sometimes I get so excited about math, I forget to do what I promised. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. I have... It looks like one of the live streams got stuck. So can you give me just a quick second? Let me see if I can kick it and reinitiate it here. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it just got stuck. Okay, well, we're just going to have to do our best. There, I tried to reinitiate it. There it is. There we go. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So again, if you have this handout, that's great. If you don't, you've just got your notebook and a pencil, and you're going to keep up with me, and we are going to break this down step by step so it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Let me grab my, there we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a couple of quick definitions just so we are clear. So do you see the first one? It says a mixed number. You see that right there? Okay. So it says a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. So if I say, hey, we're making cookies. I need 5 3/4 cup flour. That's a mixed number because this is the whole number. This means you're going to have 5 cups. And then that 6th cup is only going to be filled 3/4 of the way, like that, right? But all the rest of these cups, these are all the same size. This will be 5 cups, and then this thing will be, well, almost. If it was filled to the top, then what we would say is, well, that would be a 6 there instead of a 5. Okay, so that's what we mean by a mixed number. You're already familiar with this concept because, well, you know, you live in the real world and you operate and you actually, you do stuff, right? So if your mom says, I got half a tank of gas, you know what that means. She doesn't have to explain it to you. But let's break it down so the pictures make sense with the numbers. Okay, so right now, do you see how I've got 3 triangles on the top? 3 triangles. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to color in 2 3/4, that number right there. Just the triangles. Ignore everything else, ignore that, okay? So just the triangles. Can you color in 2 3/4? There you go. I'll put some pieces of paper here so we're just focused on that. Okay, 2 3/4. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Yep, this should be a bit of a review. It shouldn't be too new. Okay, 2 3/4. All right. So did you color in a whole one? And another whole one? And then what? What did you do next? Yeah, so this triangle has been divided into 4 equal parts. That's what the 4 on the bottom means. The 3 on the top means I'm talking about that one, and that one. And you could color any 3 you want, doesn't matter. Okay, good. So this is just practice. Okay, great. So let's go down to the next one. Okay, so for this one here, I'm going to write 2 3/4. Can you do that on your sheet? And again, if you don't have this sheet, don't panic. Just grab your notebook and give me a quick sketch. Okay? So each one of these candy bars or each one of these blocks of cheese or something has been divided into fifths. So I would like 1 4/5 of this. Maybe this is like butter or something like that, right? So one of these is there are 5 sticks here that make one whole unit. So if we look at the whole thing, okay, how would I get 1 4/5? Yeah, this should be a review. We did this the first day of class. Yeah, I know, and we're already 6 into it. So you should be doing the whole thing. And then how many of this one? Do I do 4 of these? 4, because there's 5. Well, no, there's 4, right? Do I color in all 4? No. So the whole number is the whole unit, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5. So that last stick doesn't get colored in and nothing there. Great. Okay, let's try another one. I have some circles. Can you do 3 5/8? 3 5/8. I know for the first part of fractions, we only focused on just the 5/8. Now we're adding it to these units here. Okay, good. Okay, so what have you got? Yeah, the whole unit, 3, do that first. That's the whole number. So you ate 3 whole pizzas yourself. You were really hungry. And then that last pizza, so all of these are into eighths, and so you did 8/8, 8/8, 8/8, so 1, 2, 3. And this one, you only had enough room for 5 slices. So 3 of those slices are going home in a doggy bag. Yeah, exactly. Good. How's this feeling so far? Yeah, pretty easy so far? Okay, great. How about this last one over here? This last one over here. So I'm going to say, let's make this one green. I have green. Okay. And can you color in 4 1/2? 4 1/2. Do that for me real quick. Yes, these are all mixed numbers. Good question. Good question. Yep. And yeah, if you do have questions as we go along, feel free to type it in. I'll try to incorporate that when appropriate into our lesson. Good. 4 1/2. So what does that mean? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and one of these is only a half. There we go. Does it have to be all in a row? No, it doesn't have to be all in a row. Just as long as there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and an extra half. All right, put a smile on your face if that made sense, because you just defined for yourself what a mixed number is. This is exactly it. Word definition, here's an example, and pictures. Yes. Okay, great. So let's put this aside. So down here, you can write the notes that I'm going to be writing. My Sharpie's bigger, so I'm going to use a big piece of paper. Okay, so which is the greatest? Okay, out of these fractions I'm going to give you. Which one is the greatest? It has the highest numerical value. Okay, it's the biggest number. All right, so 5/5, well, 5/5 is 1. So anything less than this one Okay, we can cross out. So this one is, okay, that's not it. 2 over 1, that's more than 1. So this is equal to 1 because the top and bottom are the same. This one is, okay, so now we found a bigger one. Okay, so hold your finger there. How about 4/3? 4/3 is greater than 1, but it's not quite 2. So if this was going to be greater than 2, this would have to be a 6 over 3, but it's not. It's only 4 over 3. Okay, 8/9, this is less than 1. Okay, so I'm going to say this one is the largest. This one is the largest. But look, they're all fractions, right? So it matters what the divisions are on the bottom because that will change what that number, you just can't look at the top number because if you just look at the top number, it's like, oh, that's 2, that's the small, oh, well, no, that doesn't work, right? 8 would have been the biggest, but it's not. So this tells you how many divisions. So this one, only one division, that means the whole thing. It doesn't get divided. You get to eat the whole thing, and you got 2 of them. Okay, so which one is the least? Which one where if you got this much pizza, you'd get the smallest amount of pizza? So in this case, it's a whole. This is one whole. This is 4 1/3, so this is divided into thirds. This is the whole thing, and then 1/3. Okay, so you'd get the whole pizza, and then 1/3 of somebody else's. Okay, this is a half. That's pretty easy for most people to visualize, half of something. And then 8/9, that's almost, if this was a 9, then it'd be the whole thing, right? But it's most of it. So you would get most of it, just not the whole thing, right? Maybe you're sharing just a little piece with your mom or something. Okay. So are you seeing how this one's the least? Yeah. So this was the greatest, and this was the least. They look almost the same, don't they? So it matters which one's the numerator and which one's the denominator. Okay. Which one is a mixed number? None of them, right? Did you get none of them? There are no mixed numbers here, right? They're all fractions. However, there are 2 fractions that look top-heavy, right? Where the top is larger than the bottom. Which ones are those? Which one has a number at the top is larger than the bottom? Yeah, this one and this one. So we call those improper fractions. Improper. And it doesn't mean it's doing something wrong. It simply means that the numerator is a number, wait, hang on, I got that wrong. Yeah, the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, so numerator is larger than denominator. And to be perfectly honest, it's greater than or equal to. So there's 3 improper fractions in this one. One we didn't do yet. So if the numerator is greater than or equal to the number in the denominator, so it's not this one. So equal to means 1 is also considered an improper fraction. Most people don't think about it that way. They just say, if it's the same number top and bottom, it's 1. Okay, so that's the definition of an improper fraction. So we have mixed numbers and we have improper fractions. Okay, so let's try a couple of these. Can you tell me which one of these is an improper fraction? Actually, tell me how many are improper fractions. Okay, so we're looking for where the top is larger than the bottom. Okay, so this one, yep, we just had that one before. How about this one? Yep, 50 is greater than 19. This one, yep. This one, nope. How about this one? Yep, 7 is a larger number than 3. 2, is it a larger number than 23? No, not even by a long shot. Okay, good. So these are, you can call them proper fractions or you just drop that first word. Those are just, they're all fractions. These are just regular old fractions. And then the ones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are improper. So the thing with improper fractions is they work the same way as regular fractions, but you should know in your mind they are all greater than 1. All the ones circled in yellow are greater than 1. So that means you can also write it as a mixed number. And that's what we're going to focus on right now. All right, so if we have an improper fraction, that's a clue that you can turn that into a mixed number. Okay, great. So let's practice. Okay. So there is a page here that I created for you, and it has a sample problem. All right? But let's go ahead and do it just like here. Okay. So let's say I have an improper fraction of 13 over 5. Okay, so the 13 is bigger than the, the 13 is bigger than the 5. So I know it's an improper fraction. Let's turn it into a mixed number. To do that, well, let me back up just a second. If I were to say, how much is 6 over 3? What would you say that is? It's an improper fraction, but could you do this one in your head? Yeah, so 6 is actually 2 times 3, and 3 is 1 times 3. So in your head, you might have gone, oh, I could divide top and bottom by 3. I get 2 over 1, and that's 2. There's another way to think about it, though. So 6 divided by 3, that's the same as saying 6 divided by 3. Okay, this is just another way. So this is a little division problem. All fractions are little division problems. You can look at it this way. You can look at it this way. You'll get the same answer, especially if we're careful with our calculations. Watch. How many times does 3 go into 6? 2. 2 times 3 is 6. We have no remainder. My answer is a big fat 2, which is exactly the same as what we got here. You see that? Okay, so if I said 15 over 3, what would you say? 15 over 3, this would be 3 into 15. 3 goes into 15 5 times with no remainder. Okay, so my answer is 5. 15 divided by 3, you have 15 cookies and 3 friends, you and 2 other people. Right? Everybody gets 5 cookies. Good. Okay, so what happens if it's not even? That's what we're going to do now. And if the idea of doing long division makes you want to run for the refrigerator for a snack and go outside, stick with me for just a second, and we're going to see how much fun this is because with fractions, it's really fun. Watch this. So we're going to rewrite this. Who goes in the box? Who goes in the box? There's the division box. Who goes in it? The 13 or the 5? Yeah, the number on top. So 13 goes in the box. 5 goes outside. Is 5 going to 1? Nope. Is 5 going to 13? Yeah. What's a number that you would put in here? 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, right? So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. That's too big, right? This one's too big. So my answer is going to be between 2 and 3. So I'm going to say 2. 2 times 5 is 10. We're going to subtract that out. I have a 3. And then you're going to stop. That's as far as I want you to go. All we want up here are whole numbers. So my answer is 2 and then this 3. So do you see if this was like a 4, this would have been a 4. And if this was a 5, then this would have turned into a 3, right? So this is the remainder. So it says my answer is 2, and then I take this 3 and I go like this, divided by 5. 2 3/5. And that is my final answer. So I just turned an improper fraction into a mixed number using division. Yep, and we don't want to do any decimals or anything. So as soon as you finish the whole number part, stop, and your remainder over the original thing you were dividing by, okay, is your fraction for your mixed number. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's try another one here. If you're still copying that down, I'll just start down here. Okay, so how do we do this one? Take a look at the one on the top. Who goes in the box? Who goes in the box? The 6 or the 33? Yeah, it's always the number on top, so 33. And then we're going to put a 6 here. Okay, so 6 times 5 is 30. What's 6 times 6? 36. So we are getting as close as we can without going over this number. So we wouldn't put a 6 here because then we get negative numbers, and that's not good. All right, so I'm going to put a 5. 6 times 5 is 30, okay? And then what do we have left over? A 3. Okay, stop. That's as far as I want you to go. The answer is the whole number 5. I take this 3 and go 3 over 6. So my answer is 5 3/6. Now you can reduce this because if you see there's a 3 can go into 3 as well as 6. You could rewrite this as 5 1/2 if you'd like. Okay, but they mean the same thing. They mean the same thing. All right, so how's that feeling so far? Yeah? So it's the division part, it's easy, right? You just take it really slow and then stop when we get to our remainder. And then you just throw that in with what we were dividing by in the first place, and that's it. That's your mixed number. Let's try a few more so you're comfortable. Okay, let's do a few more. How about this one? I have a 53 divided by 5. 53 divided by 5. Okay. 53 goes in the box. 5 goes on the outside. Okay. So 5 into 5 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. We're going to subtract that out, get 0, drop the 3. Okay. Does 5 go into 3? No. So I put a 0 up here. Okay. Stop. 0 times 5, well, is 0. Okay, so I'm just going to have a 3 still. Stop there. So I'm going to have this 3 over 5. My answer is 10 and 3/5. You see, if this had been 54, do you see how I would have gotten the same thing, only this would have been 4/5? I would have had a 5 and a 0, and now there's a 4. 5 doesn't go into 4. So I'd still have a 0, but the remainder is 4 over 5. You see when you just bump it up? And if this had been a 5, then this would have been 5 over 5, which would bump that up to an 11, and you'd have no fraction. Good. Okay, let's try another one. Is this kind of fun? I'm getting some people saying, this is not as hard as I thought. That's great. Okay, 19 over 6. 19 over 6. The improper fraction, we're going to turn it into a mixed number. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 19 in the box, the 6 outside. How many times does 6 go into 19? What's as close as you can get without going over. Okay, 6 into 19. What do you think about that? What's 3 times 6? 18. Carry the 1. Okay, and now can you write the final answer for me? Okay, I'm going to write mine off screen and then we'll compare. Okay. Did you get it? Okay, here we go. 3 and a 6th equals 19 over 6. Good. Yay. All right, let's do another one. How about 26 over 7? What's that going to look like? 26 over 7. Okay, 26, 7 into 26. 7 doesn't go into 2, so you're going to have to take the whole 26. All right, so just start counting by 7. 7, 14. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. Oops, that's too much. So we're going to look at this one, 7 times 3. So you put a 3 up there. 3 times 7 is minus 21. Drop the 5. Okay, now what happens? What's the final answer? Can you tell me the final answer? Yeah, the whole number is here. Okay. So this is going to be 3. So 26 over 7 is going to be equal to 3, and the remainder is 5 over what we were originally dividing by, 5 over 7. Yeah, it's got a rhythm to it, doesn't it? It's got like a pattern. Good. All right, what about this? What do you do if this is the case? 144 divided by 12. What do we do there? Okay. So we put the top in there in the box, and what we're dividing by outside the box. How many times does 12 go into 14? 12 goes into 14 one time. Minus 12. I get a 2. Drop the 4. Did you already see this? Yeah, 2 times 12 is 24. There's no remainder. What does that mean? 12 goes evenly into 144. So if you have 144 cookies and 12 people, you'll have no cookies left over. So your answer is simply 12. Okay, you don't have to put 12 and 0 12s. That just looks silly and it's also not accurate. Is it accurate? Let me think. Now that I've written that down. This says 0. Yeah, you just wouldn't do that because that's confusing, because are you multiplying the 0 over 12, 12 times 0, and then that goes to 0? So I would just write 12 over, just 12. Not 12 over anything, just 12. Good. No remainder. So this is remainder 0. Good. All right. How are you feeling? Good? Okay. This was the hardest part of class. I know. Now it's time for the really fun part. Turning mixed numbers into improper fractions, way easier. Do you want to see the easier part? Okay, let's do that. So stand up, take a sip of water, shake it out a little bit, and then let's go back to my desk and let's turn mixed numbers back into improper fractions. Okay, so this is really, really fun. Watch this. So this is page 3 of your handout. Where is it? Page 3 looks like this. Okay. Converting mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, but don't look at that here. Just look at me. All right, I have 4 and 3 over 7. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take 7 and multiply it by the 4, and then you're going to add whatever you get. This is an adding symbol. That number. Okay, so what's 4 times 7? 4 times 7 is 28. I'm going to add 3. My answer is 31. And then what I'm going to do is my answer is 31 over 7 is equal to 4 and 3/7. That's it. You're like, wait, what did you just do? So what I did is, because this is a whole number, remember a whole number is the same number top and bottom if you write it as a fraction. So because there's 4 of these, I know I have 7 over 7, 7 over 7, 7 over 7, 7 over 7. Okay, if I add these together, I get 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? There's 4 of them. That's this. That's 7 times 4. And if I can add these up together, remember the bottom stays the same, 7, but 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, that's the same as 4 times 7. That's 28. And then I'm going to add this part, 3 over 7. So this 28 over 7, that's 4 written as an improper fraction. And then you're simply going to add the 3/7. You see how that works? Yeah, so let's practice, because this is really fun to do. Okay, so let me give you another one. So if I have 2 and a half, so we're going to multiply these together, and then we're going to add the numerator. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. All we're doing here is figuring out what is the numerator, because the denominator always has to be there. Okay, because what does this say? This is saying 2 and a half. 2 and a half means, here I'll use a different color, 2 whole pizzas and then a half a pizza. That's what this is saying. What does 5 halves mean? This means you have 5 half pieces. Okay, that's what that means. And if I put 2 of those together, I get 1. If I put 2 halves together, I get another 1. And here's the last half. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then here is the half, 2 and a half. You see how they're the same thing? Yeah, that green isn't showing up very well. I'm not going to use that anymore. Okay, so 2 and a half. So how did we do that? We just said that this 2 here is the same as saying 2 over 2, 2 over 2, and 1 over 2. Okay, because this is a 1 whole pizza, 1 whole pizza, and a half of a pizza. The reason it's 2 over 2 is because the divisions, it says there's 2 divisions, and you ate both of them. So that means you ate the whole thing. So this is a 1, and plus a 1 gives me the 2, and then the half is right there. All right, if that makes sense, give me a big old smile. Give me a big old smile. Yes? Okay, if it doesn't make sense, that's okay. It will very, very soon. If you're excited about it making sense, give me another big smile. Okay, good. Here we go. 6 2/3. I got people saying, easy. Okay, good. 6 2/3. So you're going to multiply these together. Multiply them. What's 6 times 3? 3 times 6. Yep, 18. Now you're going to add this little numerator. And what do I get? 20. So just write that down. Multiply the whole number by the denominator, and then just add the numerator. That gives us a 20. And then you're going to keep this. So it's 20 over 3. So let's check to make sure we got this right. Let's check. So remember if I gave you this, you now know how to get a mixed number. You would put 20 in the box and 3 outside. 3 doesn't go into 2, so you're going to have to take the whole thing. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. That's too big. 3 times 6 is 18. Whoops. Look at me trying to write 18 on top. You know that's not right. Okay, here we go. 6 times 3 is 18. I have a 2 left over. Okay, stop. This is going to be 6 and, this is our remainder, 2 over 3. 2 over 3. And that's the same as what we had to begin with. Yay! All right, so just so you're clear, this thing is called the improper fraction. This thing is called the mixed number. And they both have the same value. When we get to fractions in a few weeks, you're going to see that this has the same number, 6.666666 forever on. Yeah, so it's got the same numerical value. Should we practice a few more? Absolutely. Glad you asked. Okay, I have a 3 and 3 over 5. Okay, so we're going to multiply these two. 5 times 3 is 15. Good. And then 15 plus 3, 16, 17, 18. 18 over, and then we just bring this over. Okay, good. If you want, you can write the denominator first because you know it's just going to be the same. So you can just write it there. It's the top number we've got to figure out. 2 times 9 is 18 plus 1. 18 plus 1 is 19. See, isn't this faster than the other one? Okay, let's do another one. How about 7 and 2 thirds? Okay, you can write the 3 here if you'd like. Okay, 7 times 3 is, okay, multiply these two together. 7 times 3, 21 plus 2, 22, 23. Good. Yeah, you can just like slap the answer down. How about we do one more? How about 1 and 9 over 10? 1 and 9 tenths. Let's just do this one. Okay, so I'm going to write the 10 because I know that's going to be the same. 1 times 10 is easy, right? That's 10. Plus 9. 10 plus 9 is, yeah, we call that 19. Yay! All right, you did it. How are you feeling? Good? Yay! All right, if you're feeling like, oh, I need more practice. I need more practice. Guess what I have for you? That's right. So look on page, so that was just page number 3 you're on in your notes. If you happen to have page number 4, this is your big moment. I want you to start some in-class work. So page number 4, I'll do the top line so you know what we're doing. Top line, and then you're going to do the rest, okay? So here we go. And if you don't have it, you're just going to write this down because I'm giving it to you right now. Okay, so what are we doing? We have a mixed number in this column, and we want to turn it into an improper fraction. This one is we have an improper fraction, and we want to turn it into a mixed number. So I'll just do the top row, and then you can work on the last, okay? So let's just do the top row, okay? Just to get you started. All right, and if you're thinking, oh, this is easy, Aurora, I got this, then just go for it and don't pay attention to me. Okay, so 5 and 1/3, okay? So we are going to take 5 and 1/3, and we're going to multiply. Okay, so I'm going to write the 3 below. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16. So my answer is 16 over 3. And that's it. I'm done. I did the first one. Okay, let's look at the second one. All right, so this one is 11 divided by 7. Okay, so 11 goes in the box, 7 goes outside. 7 goes into 11 one time, minus 7, and I have a 4. Okay, stop. So now I have a 1, and then what's my remainder? 4. What was I dividing by? 7. That's all I want you to do. All right, you are going to stay here and finish the last 3 of them, the last 3. And if you don't have this handout, let me give you the last 3 right now. Okay, so we have 3 more rows. They're not related. So somebody's asking, is this one related to that one? No, they just happen to be on the same grid. So turn these into improper fractions, turn these into mixed numbers. Just turn it into what it isn't, And if I back the camera up just a little bit, you'll be able to see the whole page. And then if you want to see, ooh, I don't think I'm going to have room for that, but here. I can put the work on the side. There you go. Okay, so you're going to do that. I'm going to leave this up for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that have come in. So if you have questions, you are putting them in right now. So I get them. I need help. Okay, David, you got to tell me what specifically you need help with. This is fun. Oh, I made a mistake. Can you tell me where my mistake was? I'd be happy to fix it. I do make mistakes. I am not perfect. So yes, if I made a mistake, please let me know where. Is 0 3/4 a mixed number? Okay, so if the whole number is a 0, we just call that a fraction. Just call it a fraction. Okay. I am good. Oh, okay, you're good now. All right, great. So this is so easy. You went too fast. Okay, so Leilani, you're going to ask me what specifically I can help you with. I want another escape room. All right, I will show you what your assignments are in just a second. I'm going to give you the answers to this. So can you tell me in the chat when you're ready for the answers? Can you tell me in the chat? Like you're ready for the answers so you can compare your solutions with mine because I didn't give you the answers in your handout. Okay, so go ahead and tell me. And yes, I have a story for you. You get to tell me which story you would like. Would you like a runaway class story or would you like a chinchilla story? Runaway class story or a chinchilla story. It's going to be up to you. Okay, so I'll put this back up so you have it. Okay, all right, so go ahead and keep working on it. Keep working on it. You want me to tell a story while you're working on it? You sure that won't be too distracting? I can. I certainly can. Tell you what, while you're working on it, do you have all these written out? Do you have all these written out so I can change the screen? Okay, I'm going to change it in 10 seconds. Okay, so finish writing them. Finish writing them. Somebody's asking, do I need to do a decimal equivalent? Not yet. Not yet. We haven't gone to decimals yet. Okay, good. Other questions that are coming in. Runaway classes. You guys like the runaway class stories. Okay, all right. So let me show you where your assignments are for this week, and then I will tell you a story. So yes. And then, yes, I have to tell you about the truck. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so let's go to the math program. So I got to fractions session number 6 by hovering on the unit 1 fractions, and then you'll scroll, well, not scroll, but you'll hover down to fractions session number 6. Okay, on the top is the parent video, always the parent video. And then underneath it has the math assignments outline, this button right here. And you can't see hang on a second. Can't see my cursor. Let me change that. Okay, I have a cursor now. Yes. All right, so math assignments outline. And then this is the handout that you're working through right now, that second one. This is the one we had during class. So if you're wondering, where did everybody get that from? It's fractions session number 6. So hover here, click there, go right under the parent video. Parent video is always the first thing, and then we always have the handouts that you'll need. The recording for today's class will be the first video under the parent video. So it'll be video number 2. Okay, good. And then the weekly math practice. So what we have for you today, this is the packet for Monday. Okay, so we have fractions workbook number 4. This is the 4th and final workbook you're going to be working through. How do you find the workbook? You go up here to the very top where it says workbooks in the top right, and you'll see when you click on it, it will have all of your workbooks listed here. We are currently in we are now starting workbook number 4, and they look like this. And there is an answer key that you can that you can grab and to check your answers. If you don't want to print, you don't have to print. Just write your answers in a spiral bound notebook. And so you are good to go. And you can just check your answers when you are ready. Okay, and then what's the next thing? Here we go. We also have some mazes. How many of you like getting lost in a maze? Yes, me too. I love getting lost in a maze. Okay, so we have some mazes that you get to do. There's a game that you get to play called Bump. If you've never played it before, I actually talk you through it. It's a common game. We also have a lemonade stand activity for you. And we have going for a walk, a measurement lab. If you like the game of war using your fraction cards you had made from spoons, you can do that as well. So we have a lot of fun things that are coming. I think I actually have official, yeah, here it is. Math assignments for week number 4. Somebody's asking, how many workbook pages do I need to do a day? So I would say you want to get into the practice, into the habit of doing math 5 to 15 minutes every day. If that's too fast, if you're like, I want to work more, then you can go 30, 45 minutes. But if you're at a level where you just really don't like doing math at all, just do a couple of minutes every day, just so you're starting to get into the habit. And then as you're enjoying it more, you can add more. We have a lot of fun things for you can work on. Going for a walk is basically you're going to measure your stride and tell me about what kind of walk you're going to be taking based on your data. And so the activity we had again was the lemonade stand. We have some games for you this week and math mazes. If you're one of my advanced students, we also have the bouncy ball lab and the ratios packet for you to do. And so that is all in fractions week number 6. Now wait, there's going to be something that's a little confusing. You ready for this part? Okay, so if you're feeling like, I wish Aurora would have gone longer today. I wish she would have talked and done more examples, and you can't wait for the next class, which is on Wednesday. I have something for you. I have the recordings from last year already posted. Let me show you where they are. Okay, so this is the top of the page. We're in fractions, session 6. You got that here. This is the parent video. Those are the little downloads. Okay, scroll down just a little. Do you see where it says beginner level? Math lesson. This is the math lesson I taught last year. So and it's got different problems than we did today. So if you'd like to have another class with me, this one is 16 minutes long. And so you can watch, and I will step by step go through more problems together with you. And so we'll just take it one step at a time. And then, who wanted an escape room? Did anybody want an escape room? At the end of class, I actually give you an escape room on mixed numbers. And so you can click to download that. And then this is the recording from Doug last year as well. So these are extra lessons. If you are like, I got this, Aurora, I don't need to hear more explanation, then you're not a beginner anymore. You're going to do the workbook, number 4, and then you're going to hop down to the intermediate section, which is down here. And you're going to be doing the maze. You're going to be doing, if you want the workbooks, if you want me to go step by step through the workbooks with you, there are videos that you know by now that are here, and I actually walk through every stage. This is something, the wheel, do you see the wheel picture here? If you would like a quick reference sheet about, wait, how do I add fractions of different denominators? Wait, how am I supposed to do this? This is a quick reference sheet that's got worked out problems, and you can color it in and print it out and have it. So if you just need like a quick little, oh yeah, like a reminder, this would be a good activity for you to do this week. And then the mazes I had mentioned, the games, and then intermediate math class. This is where I go into more depth. So this, the class I taught last year was 2.5 hours long, so I broke it into 3 sections. I took the introduction part, put that in the beginner, and the intermediate where we really get into it and do like more problems together and some word problems, that's in this intermediate recording, again, from last year. So if you want to do more math class with me, that's there. And then this is where the projects are and the games and the activities and all of that stuff, and you'll find it in there. If fractions is not new, this is something you're old hat at. This is easy for you. You don't need to, you've already tested out of the workbooks by doing the last 2 pages at the back. You're one of my advanced students. I would advise you to go straight into the advanced labs and then start working on, these are actual physics labs from college. And so you and I are going to work through all kinds of really cool things this week, ratios, proportions, all kinds of fun things. It's a long lab, so there's a lot going on with this one. And then there's a math challenge. I like this one. And so it's about if you're carting birds, and suppose you've got 200 pounds of birds in the back of your pickup truck. And this is like one that people still don't agree on the answer on. And it's really interesting to hear them. So this is a good one to do at the dinner table. So you've got 200 pounds of birds in the back, and half of them are flying around. And then you get to a bridge, and it says weight limit like 100 pounds, right? Not thinking about the weight of the truck. Just go with me. And the question is, if you bang on the sides and get half of them flying, can you go across the bridge safely? So anyway, so that's the math challenge there. Go ahead and give that one a try if you're interested in learning how to do that one. Somebody's asking about the fractions fair. That is still the math. It's not fractions. It's a math fair. You can do any math concept you want. Yes, we are still collecting entries for that. Okay, good. All right, can I share my solutions with you? Can I share my solutions? Okay, so let's go back down to my desk. So this is what you had. And if you don't want to see them, you're not looking at the camera. In 3, 2, 1. So how did you do? Wait, we did the first one together. There we go. There we go. There. Yes? Yay! Did you get the last one, how it's reduced? Yeah, so you could reduce it. All right. So check your answers. Check your answers. Good, good, good. All right, yay! Okay, you guys ready for a quick story? All right, I know I have to get going. spent a long time explaining where things are. We've gotten a lot of questions from parents that just can't find stuff and they're getting frustrated. So I wanted to make sure you have that. So kids, you can show your parents where things are if you need it. One more quick thing. So for this, there is, if you are going to go and watch me and my recordings from last year, there's a different handout, and it's a different bingo sheet than we used in today's class. This is the one I had for you today. This is different because today's class is different than last year's. If you want to do last year's class, there is another handout that goes with it that actually leads into an escape room. So you'll be able to do both in the class, so the recording from last year. So feel free to access that. Okay, once upon a time there was, oh wait, I didn't see what kind of story you wanted to tell me, or wanted me to tell you. Wait, what kind of story am I doing? Let me see. Let's see, answers please. No escape room. You don't have to do the escape room if you don't want to. It's just if you enjoy that, it's available. Okay, I need help with decimals. So David, you want to go to our study hall on Friday where you can ask Leah any question about the math program at any time, and she'll be able to help you with that. Good. The math fair is coming up. It's at the end of this month, and there are more details about that in session number 5, and session number 4 is when it was announced. So you can get more details. Go to the very bottom of the page of fractions session number 4. All the details, the packet, and everything. You know how people have science fairs? We're having a math fair. So make sure you know about that. So go to session number 4, scroll all the way down, and you will find all the details. Just write it in your notes right now. Go to session 4 for details on math fair. Okay, so put that in there. Good. Okay, you know what? I am about to lose audio. Hang on just a All right, testing, 1, 2, 3, good? Yes, okay. So it looks like, a chinchilla story, actually. So, all right, so once upon a time, do you know what a chinchilla is? Imagine a bunny, put little mouse ears on it, and a squirrel tail, and it hops around like a kangaroo. Okay, so there's a chinchilla. All right, so I had, when I was growing up, I had 2 of them. I had a boy and a girl, and so I had Chip and Bonnie. And so Chip was the male, and he was very lazy. He wouldn't do a whole lot. Bonnie was the brains behind everything. So Bonnie, what she would do is she would get out of any cage I put her in. And so I decided one night, I'm like, okay, so she would chew through things, and do you know, she's a rodent, right? Chinchillas are rodents. So, and they're nocturnal, and they're terrible pets, by the way. They're really, really awful pets. I had them for 15 years. So they're hard to take care of. They are super allergic and sensitive to like more things than you can even imagine. Their lifespan is 20, but most time in captivity, when they're kept as pets, they don't live longer than a year or 2 because people don't take care of them properly. So it's hard. Okay, so I had them just as pets. I thought they were kind of fun. All right, so Bonnie is the brains behind it, and so I swear she would just look at me and just say, come on, I dare you to try to keep me in this cage. So I built her it was a big wood cage, and I had chicken wire. And so I had put the chicken wire on the inside, so in the inside of there, and like taped everything off so it wasn't sharp. So what she figured out is I had stapled it on, but she could chew through chicken wire. Right? Okay, it's not what I use my teeth on. All right, so that stuff is like metal, right? Okay, so then I think, okay, fine, I'm gonna put it on the outside. And so I stapled everything, and so everything was just inside and wood, and so I could tell if she was chewing, so I was trying to discourage her from chewing and stuff. So I put it on the outside, and so one night I hear bang, 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 and I'm like, what are you doing now? Sure enough, she was jumping. So the cage was just posts, and then it was chicken wire the whole way around. So it was open and had lots of fresh air. So it wasn't enclosed. They had a little enclosed box on the top because they like to be in like a dark environment, like rodents do, right? And so if you have a bunny or something, it's similar to that, like a little bunny hutch and a little bunny cage. It looked like that. All right, so I hear all this banging, and I look, and she is bouncing from wall to wall to wall to wall on the chicken wire. And she's just going around and around, and she's not touching the ground. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what could she possibly be thinking? And sure enough, on the next bounce, and it was good I was there to see it, she flies through the cage. The chicken wire just like pops out of the way. And I realized what she was doing, I don't know if she was conscious of it, but what she was doing is she was banging against the chicken wire, and it was popping the staples on the outside because I had stapled it to the outside of the cage. And so I guess she had figured out that it started to get loose. And so she was putting all of her weight on it by going bang, 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 and going run, 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 run. And one of the times she hit the wall, the whole thing popped loose and she just went shooting through. And she looks down and she looked at me and then she was like, okay, you can catch me now. Like, I just needed to prove that I could do it. And so the cage is broken now. And I'm like, okay, it's the middle of the night. I need to fix this, right? I had my staple gun and everything because I was used to doing cage repairs. So then I decided, okay, I had a little, like a dog carrier, like one of those kennels, you see it's got the handle on top and it's plastic, but it has a metal cage door. And this is the kind where it has the 2 pins and you turn them in opposite directions and it releases the lock on either side. Have you seen these maybe? All right, so just imagine and so it's great for pets because they don't have the dexterity. They can't push one pin up and push one pin down to open the door. So I'm thinking, no problem. I throw her in there. I'm going staple, 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 staple. And then all of a sudden she comes around and she's looking at me. And I'm like, what? So my thought was, oh, I didn't lock it, right? So I grab her and I put her in there and I make sure, right? And I even turn the thing so the opening is towards the wall, right? So even if she opened it for some reason, she can't get out, right? Because the opening is like flat against the wall. So I'm stapling the cage back together and I'm fixing it and changing the bedding out. And sure enough, boing, 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 boing. And she just stares. She comes right up and she's like staring at me right in the face. And I'm like, what? And I look. So this time I'm like, hang on a minute. So I put her in and I close the door. And it's a spring-loaded pin too. So it's not like it's just sliding. Like you have to apply some force to it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching her, and sure enough, she can escape. She knows how to do it. She does 1 pin at a time, and it took her a minute, but she was able to get out of a dog kennel. So then I had a bunny cage, and that was empty, and I stuck her in that, and I put a combination lock on there, and she could not figure that one out, which was good. So yay! You want to see a picture of a chinchilla? Sure. That'll be the last thing that I share. So one time a parent, here I'll tell you a quick story while I'm pulling this up. So one time a parent was brand new and I was sharing this story about chinchillas and she's like, why is this math class about chinchillas? I don't understand. She says, Aurora spent 20 minutes telling a story about her chinchilla. Like, where's the math? And it turns out like she got the time wrong and everything. So I hope it's just a fun story. So mine were always the steel blue gray color. It was like this. Mine were always like that. Or like this. That was pretty common. So yeah. Again, I don't recommend them as pets. If you have one and you love it, that's great. Most people will not be able to provide the kind of care that they need. You need to file down their teeth every so often, just like rabbits. And they're allergic to absolutely everything. Half the food people try to give them, they don't realize it, but it damages their insides. And so we formulated this really special diet of like senior equine and calf manna and some rabbit food, and in order for them to get everything that they needed. So yeah, most people feed them like nuts and seeds and table scraps, and that's just not good, But anyway, so yeah, and if you get them next to cedar, they're physically allergic and they will die. And so yeah, and you'd never get them wet because then they multiply. No, I'm kidding. I have another story about one time I actually got one wet. So I'll tell you that story another time. All right, you guys ready? Are you ready to do some of your homework? Dun, 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 dun. Excellent. I am super excited. You're going to have a great time this week with fractions. If you have any questions, let me know. Aurora at superchargedscience.com. I'm happy to answer any and all questions. If something went by too fast, remember the recording will be up very, very shortly, and you can rewatch this. You can also watch my lecture from last year. Just go to the beginner section and you'll be able to rewatch that. And you can ask me questions anytime. Remember, Doug is on Wednesday. He's an hour. He's not introducing anything new. He is just going to go over lots and lots of problems. He goes over very slowly and very interactive. And on Friday, if you have a question about another part of the program or you'd like to ask more specific questions, Leah is available on Friday. So you are very well supported. What do you work on next? Workbooks. Open up workbook number 4, start on page number 1. That is your first, everybody should be doing that. If it's too easy, you're going to take the 2-page test in the back. And if you pass the 2-page test and you don't hesitate, you get mostly right answers, you've tested out of workbook number 4. Dive into the intermediate and the advanced level projects, activities, games, challenges, all of that fun stuff, and you have plenty to do. And work on your math fair project, yes? All right, I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, the truck. Are you still here? Oh, I forgot the truck. Okay, yes. All right. You're absolutely right. Truck. I am so glad. I'm like looking through the questions at the very end. Good thing I do that, huh? All right. What was your great idea about the truck? And almost everybody that submitted had the same idea I did. Remember, there's more than one idea. The idea I had was letting the air out of the tires. You only have to do a little bit, right? Because if it's just an inch and truck tires are huge, let enough, they can roll out. And the key here is there is a gas station down the street, which means you can re-inflate those tires, so it's safe to do. Yes? Yay! Okay, great job. Did I remember it all? Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.